be the most beneficial intent with which to program a quartz crystal that would be placed near food so it is energized and kept fresh for long? And in the same way, what would be the intent to upload to a crystal that would be placed in the ground near the roots of the plant?
All right. The idea is to bring in different plant-based DNA activations that are linked to certain earth chakras that allow for new updates from the blueprint matrix of earth to then be broadcasted as vibrations to all forms of life. The idea is to focus on the aspect of the earth consciousness that is updating. That is updating the plants, that is updating the people, that is updating the animals, allowing for that vibration to be a beacon in terms of what is being programmed into the crystal to draw in that quality from the earth. Once you then have that infused into the crystal, it will allow for the food in many ways to respond to the crystal as if it were still planted within the earth, because it will be receiving all of the earth's updates. This will then have a dramatic effect on how the food impacts your DNA and your genetic expression. The same type of benefit can be derived through that similar type of intention placed at the root structure of various plants. In addition to this, you can also program that crystal to draw in the idea of what you would call elemental consciousness and what you would call plant spirit consciousness. You can in many ways begin to infuse the crystal with the state of being that is reflective of some of your master plant teachers. Understanding you can bring in the vibration of what you have called ayahuasca, what you have called mushrooms, what you have called cannabis, and you can bring in these vibrations through the crystal into the food as it grows. That way the food will act as a more advanced plant teacher. You can derive more lessons from the food.
Amazing. This raises two questions. One is, would this process need to be repeated, or can I program one quartz and then for it to act as a master crystal that would then program other crystals?
You can in many ways bury multiple crystals near the root structure, linking them to one master crystal, and the idea would be to continuously update the master crystal, and while you are holding the master crystal, to imagine you're connecting to all of the various plants, as that network will not go away. The idea is feed that psychic connection of the master crystal to the root-based crystals as much as possible, multiple times per day for about a month. This will allow for that connection to be very crystallized and very strong. And then you will no longer need to spend multiple amounts of time or energy doing so. And the idea will be then you can simply meditate upon the master crystal, imagining all of the other plants, and you can speak directly to the plants through the crystal, invoking different plant spirits, invoking different nature spirits to that plant consciousness and the root network.
And would you recommend adding also the pine and redwood energy to the crystal?
Yes, this would be highly beneficial. Remember to go with what you are inspired to go with. The plants will also communicate with you the types of consciousnnesses they prefer to have in them.
Okay, and for the people trying this at home, what symbol would we use to visualize this updating aspect?
Imagine spirals of DNA that are illuminated in white or yellow light coming up from the center of your earth into the root networks, into the crystals, understanding that you can then visualize from the center of the earth the DNA glowing with light, spiraling up until it is making contact with the crystal, and then imagine the crystal is glowing with energy and allowing for more of that DNA from the crystal, from the connection to the earth, to then move into the root networks, and imagine the DNA is spiraling through all of the roots, through all of the stems, and through the leaves and the fruit of these plants, imagining that DNA is spiraling through all of the water and electrical passages of that plant, and it will allow for then the plant's DNA to be very powerfully upgraded, and it again will allow for your DNA to upgrade dramatically upon consuming the plant.
Thank you very much. This is awesome.
Thank you. We think so as well.